Hi, I'm Megan, and what you're hearing is the dynamic music for Wildfire in the forest area. It is a large track with 11 interacting stems, and I'd like to talk to you today about how we devised it and how it is constructed musically. It's a very complex kind of track, and I'd also like to work in the question of why you may actually choose to use dynamic music in your game. Certainly it's not mandatory, but it does provide a lot of opportunities to support your play in a useful way. The three core variations to Wildfire's music are ambience, caution, and alert. I'm going to play them for you now. They're all the same tempo, so they can be switched between. The idea is that the intensity of the piece transforms as the player is progressively discovered. So here are the three variations with enemies and fire also activated. So the caution and alert variations are the same length, and they have the same melodies and the same harmony. The ambient version doesn't, but it is based in the same key, the tonic and the fifth of the overall key, essentially, and there are harmonics being generated from that. Where you hear the whole tone below in the cello part, that is in line with the other two variations. I think the transition works well when it's getting more intense. I think it works less well as it's getting less intense, but this is something they've actually managed to address in the snow piece, which is cool. We'll get to it eventually. So I guess the key differences between caution and alert is that the melody part is played by a single descant recorder in caution, and then it is joined by the rest of the Celtic ensemble, bagpipes and lute and such in the alert part, I guess giving it a lot more volume. The counter melody part, so the bit which goes da, 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 has basically transformed from a single flute line into a sweeping string part, and it's a strong enough part to actually be able to replace the previous arpeggioic harmony as provided by the harp. And I stumbled on the idea kind of just by experimenting, but I think it's actually a really strong technique. So being able to transform the piece from within, using the musical material that already exists, and then kind of rearranging it to a more suitable role for the new ensemble, I suppose, in the alert part. So we've noted the elements which are the same between the three variation states and game states, and also the elements which are different, mostly the rearranging of the ensemble parts or the ensemble instruments. Something else that transforms and really supports the way this musical model works is that the fire and the enemy parts also transform alongside the variations. They're not discrete parts unto themselves. So everywhere in Wildfire so far, where you're close to an enemy, you'll be hearing orchestral cello and double bass, lower strings basically. Wherever fire is active, you'll be hearing a cymbal part in one form or another. So have a listen to the enemy stems across the three variations in this piece, and you'll be able to understand how they transform and support each core variation. So whenever you're in an ambient state and the enemy is close by, you'll be hearing cello, pizzicato notes. And then as the bass variation transitions to caution, the bass notes also transition, and they add an octave below, still pizzicato, and also a drum. And then as it changes to the alert state, obviously we're changing to the bowed strings parts, and it's an aggressive bow sample through Garrett and Personal Orchestra 4, and also a more resonant drum at the same time. I guess I wanted it to feel as if there was an orchestra playing along with your game, essentially. And so when the enemy suddenly notices that you're there and starts chasing you, the cello players and the double bass players all pick up their bow and start depicting that. I suppose that's the idea behind it, anyway. So hopefully that's given a lot of text. The layers actually work in the piece. If you're a musician, hopefully that's fairly easy to understand. One other point that I would make is that when you have an instrument that you're transforming, like those cellos and double basses, be sure to pan them to the same location. That's something I discovered by not doing so, and it sounded horrible. Similarly, Celtic music is very reliant on quite discrete melodies, I suppose. They can't really be kind of rambling melodies and stuff like that. They're supposed to be things that people sing along to. Thankfully, Dan actually coded for this, so if you actually transition your game state at a bad time for the melody will actually come in at the next best point, rather than just starting halfway through. Otherwise, I found that making really strong counter melodies with long notes in them helped a lot, and also kind of making the tunes quite catchy and having balanced phrases helped with that, and also being able to balance ascending and descending motion within the melody helped a lot. I'm certainly hoping that although we're using dynamic music, we won't lose that melodic element, especially in the top two variations, the caution and alert variations, because it is certainly nice to have things to sing along to while you're playing. Seemed to work for my friend Terry on his Twitch stream, for example.
This time.
Some pay. You are in such trouble now.
Something that I do tell my composition students at the Australian Institute of Music is that your thought processes as a musician are uniquely valuable to game developers. And I think that interactive music systems are not necessarily something which are in the forefront of many developers' minds. So is this kind of system valuable to a developer? I mean, I'm going to play a little bit of gameplay footage to finish this video today, and I think if you actually watch as the player, sort of when the player is discovered and that kind of a thing, the change in kind of oral mood is subtle enough that it doesn't interrupt your play, but it certainly supports the changing feel of the game. I think it works really well, and I've been very fortunate to have Dan to work with and the opportunity. It's certainly one way of presenting dynamic music. There are just, endless ways of presenting it based on your imagination, and I think that we need to really value the unique imagination of people who are trained musicians. Thanks for watching.
She can't hear me. Let's wait for her to turn around. Thank you.
Something there?
What? Hang on. Why does she hear me burning? That's super weird.
I need a nap. I won't be so spooked then.
Okay, I can flip around. Nice. I do like those little waypoint stones. Alright. Oh. Just coming back. Ah, it's a fire source as well. Boom! How do you like that, lady?
Hey,
How do
someone back there? Hey! What's that? Stop! Stop!
Aha! How you gonna...
Someone back there?
I think I've ruined this. Oh no, I ruined Christmas! Oh my god, run!
Come back here! Stop!
Oh, no! No! Alright, set yourself on fire, run, 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 run!
Someone back there?
Hopefully I won't die, come on, go, 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 go! I'm so dead.